All right, y'all. You're now live. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, I don't know why it's not showing me everything. Okay, Susan, you are in private chat. If I don't know if you see there's a private chat, and then there is comments.
Okay, I see stage comments chat.
Okay. So the comments is where you see other people chatting. I mean, commenting to us if anyone wants to come in. And then, hello, whoever's in here, we see you ready. Oh, let me get Tia back in the room. All right. You can't hear? Your phone is on, it says you're on mute. Now, can you hear?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Got it. Good. All right, so pretty much, I would like to thank everyone that's here. This is Girlfriend Zone. This is Deadbeat Daddy's Taxing Still, Deadbeat Daddy Still Your Taxes edition. All right. So we're not going to hold it up right here. Anyone that comes in to join us can always, watch the live, join in on the conversation or anything if they want. Pretty much, I'm gonna introduce you guys. We first have Angela Frazier, which is from This and That Financial Services. Angela, could you please pretty much explain what you do?
Hi. So with This and That Financial Services, I actually do taxes and I help with credit repair. And I answer a couple of questions on the side because there's always something going on with people's different financial situations. So I try to help out the best I can, especially with us ladies. We sometimes have questions and we don't know who to go to. So I try to help out, and if I can, I'll get you the best answer I can get you.
Thank you. And then I have Tia, and I also have Susan, which are two of our guests that are dealing with deadbeat dads, and both of them have had their income taxes stolen by their kid's father. Tia, would you like to introduce yourself and pretty much give us a small back end story?
Well, I'm Tia. I, for the first time, had to deal with my youngest daughter's dad that I was previously married to, claiming both of my kids, one of which doesn't even belong to him. I found out by, of course, trying to electronically file my taxes and was told by my tax preparer that both of them had been claimed. And I could only assume that he claimed them because we used to file as a family, so he has all of our information to do so. So that's where I'm
Because with that being said, I do know as much as when you go to file and someone has used your dependents, the tax preparer does not give you the information of who. They don't see that part to tell you that part. So at this point, it's an assumption because
right.
that's the only one that you filed with in the
That's
past.
why I said I can only assume
And
because
you
he
went
has
through an
all of
ugly
our
divorce.
yeah.
Okay, and Susan, hey, give me a little bit of your backstory.
My name is Susan. I have the last 3 years been fighting, not fighting, but going through issues where my three children's father has been kind of trying to swoon in before me to file taxes, has gotten there before me to file taxes on the children that I have about 97% of the time.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, sorry about that. I had got an alert. All right, so pretty much with this episode, the main thing of this episode is to reach out to other women that are and have been dealing with the same situation. I mean, men too. Let me get it straight. Um, Men that have custody of their kids and have deadbeat baby moms go through the same thing also. So I'm not here to say it's good for one and not for the other, but this is called Girlfriend Zone. I'm here to look out for my girlfriends, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm talking to my girlfriends and want advice on how to protect my girlfriends. Okay. So, Susan, I would like to get the story of what happened. Like, what happened? How did you find out?
I'll just go back to the most recent one that I'm fighting, which is the 22 tax year.
So this happened
I went to
before?
file. This has happened 3 years in a row
Oh,
that he has filed, but
wow.
the most recent one that I've been, the second year is, I was actually able to file before him, but it kicked it back and they were asking for information before they issued my taxes on our kids living situation. But this last year he beat me to the taxes, and he when I, about 15 minutes after I filed, it kicked it back and it told me that two of my children had been used, and then I had to kind of act accordingly and try to follow a process uh to amend my taxes so
So,
that I could.
question, the previous 2 years, was there
Mhm.
a point? Okay, so you say he beat me to it. Was there a point to where it was kind of like you were in a race, whoever got there first and did it were able to keep them?
It's not like a race, like we're competing, but he's self-employed or made up employed, and I have a job, so I couldn't file my taxes until I received my W-2s.
Right.
And him being self-employed, made up employed, he could just make up an income, throw a number, and just go ahead and file.
Got it. Thank you for clearing that up. I'll come back to you in a second. Tia, how did you find out? Oh, excuse me.
I was filing my taxes as usual, and my tax preparer got back to me the first time about my youngest daughter being claimed first. And then we tried again the next day to just go ahead and file me and my oldest daughter. And then she told me that she was also claimed.
Wow.
So that's where I'm at now.
So, how long have you and the father been separated?
We have been separated since July of 2022.
Okay. And with either of you, this Susan, do you have like legal custody of your kids? Or is it like a joint
I
custody?
have I have full I have physical and legal custody of the kids.
How about you, Tia?
I have temporary full custody of both of my kids right
So pretty much in this case, they know damn well they wasn't supposed to be filing for taxes.
now. Right.
Yeah.
So they were just being sneaky. It wasn't no, oh, I thought it was my year and it's your year. No, motherfucker, you know that you weren't supposed to be filing.
Hmm.
Mm. Okay, so Angela, with hearing their stories on how they found out, is there a way to prevent something like this from happening? Like with Susan, she said this happened 3 years in a row. Is this
So
something?
yes, unfortunately, I hear this constantly, doing people's taxes, and we don't see it until we actually put the numbers in. We'll get a kickback saying rejected, and then it says the last four of the taxpayer's social security number was used. So then we'll go
Mhm.
back to the taxpayer and we'll ask like, oh, did someone claim your kids? And then that's when That's how they find out that somebody actually claimed them. So I always suggest people, I know some people don't like it because it's like basically another social security number. You have to keep this number. You can't do anything without it. But I always suggest people to do their identity protection pin. So with that pin, it's a number that you have to give the taxpayer, and nobody's able to do anything or see anything without that pin. So there's no way to get around it or anything. So I've been suggesting to recently to my clients that's what they should do. So that way, if there's an issue with for instance, with these two, their baby dads claiming the kids, he
Mm-hmm.
can't claim them without that taxpayer's number. So
Okay.
that's what I would suggest.
Okay. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find.
Also,
Okay.
while you're preparing for that, also I was letting people, some of the ladies know as well, because I had one. She had 4 kids, and he claimed all 4 kids, and then had a girlfriend claim the other kid, because technically you're only supposed to claim 3 kids. So with that,
Oh,
he's giving away the number to somebody else. So you also could go through the IRS and do the tax fraud, make sure that they know that it is identity theft, and go through the proper procedures to do that. I know it's a long process because they have to basically, you have to claim, like, for instance, who has the custody for more than the 6 months. So they ask you when you do the taxes, did you have the kids for the 12 months? So if, of course, you're going to say yes, because they're trying to beat you to the punch. So now they have to prove how they have the kids. So I always suggest
right.
people to keep like the school records, because it's going to have the address of whose house that the kids go to school from. That's number one. Make sure to have that. If they're going to school, it's better to have it under your address. I know sometimes people want to do different addresses because they want to do a different school zone or a better school, but that's how you could prove that you had your kids the 12 months. Also, doctor's
Okay.
appointments. Anything like that you have to pay for, like if you have to do the dentist appointments, because they could say clothing, but if you want to get technical, that's considered a gift. So I don't know if anybody
Oh, really?
actually are fighting the courts right now as far as child support. So when you have a court order as far as custody, they have some people have 6 months, 6 months, some people have weekends, some people actually do rotate. So you, within that court order, it's going to tell you how much, like some people split everything 50-50. So it tells you how much you have to do, and then whatever is over that, that's considered a gift. So if they're showing receipts for clothes, that's not considered anything that the IRS is going to take. So anything that is like medical bills, school, physical documentation that shows hard proof that you actually had custody of this child for that 12 months.
Hmm. Okay.
Good information enough.
That really
I
is.
have a question.
Uh-huh.
So, on when you set up a pin, that pin, I did set one up, and it was, the pin was just under my name. How
Right.
does setting up a pin under my
Fine.
name protect the people that in the future, the people that I claim?
So when you
It
set up
doesn't.
the pin, it's just like taxes. You set the
There you
pin
go.
up first, so you have the they, when they try to do it, it's going to show that the pin, that social security number is already access to the pin, has the pin.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you can't set up the pin and then he turn around next year and set up the pin.
Oh,
So
Is
can
that the
he?
question that you have?
No. So I set up a pin. So the pin was under, like, I went onto the IRS website, the account that I have, and how does that pin protect my dependents?
It doesn't.
And
They told
say,
I did the
how does it
same
protect
thing.
my
They said it only covers you, not the kids. You got to get them a separate one.
So you have to do separate ones. So when you set up the pin, didn't you have to put your social security number in there?
did I have what?
when you set up the pin, let's talk about the pin process. When you set that pin up, did you have to
Yeah.
put your social security number in there?
Yeah.
So then when you do your kids, it's the same process, but you're using their social security number.
Well,
Mm.
I would have to, I have three children. So would I have to set up for one for myself and one for each child?
Each kid, yes.
Okay.
Oh, did you do that, Susan?
I didn't know to do that.
So technically, and this is the reason why I'm having this live, is because there are a
Yeah.
lot of people, way more people than you know, that's dealing with the same type of problems. So you were informed by the IRS or whoever your tax preparer to set up a PIN so that you could protect your taxes any years after this year.
Yeah. The
But
IRS
you
told
weren't
me to.
informed that you have to do it individually. So technically, your kids still aren't protected, just you.
Just you,
Correct.
right?
Apparently, correct. Yeah. The IRS told
Wow.
me to set up a pin for me and said that it would protect my children as well.
So when we do as a taxpayer, when we do the taxes, it's gonna
Uh huh.
ask it asks for your social security number, and then it asks if you have a PIN. Each person that we insert has that slot where we could actually put the PIN number in for each person.
Okay. That's good to know.
Now,
Was that something
what
you were
if?
aware of, Tia?
I'm
I
sorry,
did
what?
my identity protection pin last year, thinking the same as Q, that it protected me and my
Everyone.
kids.
So you just
But
did it for
I
yourself.
found out, yeah, so I have it for myself. I had to provide it. You have to provide it every year after you sign up for it. So I had to provide it this year. But when I talked to the IRS about going to set an appointment to do the paper filing and everything, they told me that there's no way to get the IP pin online for your kids, that you have to come in with documents like birth
Mm,
certificate and social
Okay.
security to set up the pins in person with them for the kids.
okay.
And that
Is
and
that
that's
something you're
why and
familiar with,
that's where the
Angela?
fraud protection part comes in at, because now you're sharing that that it's an identity theft thing, and so now you have to show paperwork that you're actually the the one who has custody of the kids. So I believe I was talking to you on the phone, right?
Hmm.
So you went to the IRS, and then what happened when they told you about the
No, I
appointment for the
haven't.
IRS?
I haven't been to the IRS yet. I just talked to them on the phone. The appointments are set far out.
But I'm saying, so you had to make a phone appointment now. There's no more walk-ins.
Yeah, no, they said they do not do walk-ins at all.
Okay, and that's what I was trying to get clarity on, because like I said, a couple of years ago, and I'll say before COVID, you
Or
were
I would
able
say
to walk in.
pre-COVID?
Yeah, I'll
Mm-hmm.
say before COVID, you were able to walk in. So I'm just trying to get the proper procedure for the people who are listening, so they'll know. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have to call IRS, you have to make an appointment, and then you could go into the building. And when you go into
Hmm.
the building, now you have to have all this paperwork, right? And what type of paperwork did they tell you had to have?
They said to bring in the birth certificate, the social security card, and I think that's it. It was the typical stuff. It wasn't nothing out of
Out
the
of
ordinary.
ordinary. Okay. So
Yeah.
long as you have the birth certificate and a social security card, then you can set up the pin for the kids.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So just in
Okay,
case
so
if anybody needs
Susan,
to know
so
the
Susan,
process of it.
so Susan,
So how?
I want to go back a little bit because you actually, like I said, like you were explaining, you have been dealing with this for 3 years in a row. So with this current year, you've been dealing with it for since last year tax season, and they've been kind of giving you the runaround. What did they tell you that you needed to get this resolved before you actually got it correct? What were some of the things so people won't make the same mistakes?
Right.
Um. So I'll just go based off of this last time.
Mm-hmm.
What they told me that I needed to do was I needed to. Well, first when I sent in the amendment, we did it via electronic. Um. By doing electronic, they accepted it. And I had been calling in like, hey, what's going on with my amendment? Because I was checking it online to see the status, and then it went to call customer service.
Mm-hmm.
So when I called customer service, they're like, no, everything is fine. It's just they blamed it for up until, I want to say, what's this month? February?
February.
Up until January, they blamed it on COVID and said that the IRS is behind on
Yes.
everything. So it's been sitting on somebody's desk since February 13th.
So now, when I spoke with you before, it was some paperwork that they told you to send in, and when you sent that in, did they tell you that wasn't correct?
Yeah. So what ended up happening was it's been sitting on somebody's IRS desk for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
On the last time that I called in, I finally got an IRS agent that was willing to help me. I will say that the last 7 IRS agents were not helpful. This last IRS agent sent me to a advocate, assigned me a IRS advocate. The
Okay.
advocate is the go-between person, like the liaison between you and the actual IRS. So what ended up happening is she sent an email, hey, what's going on with her stuff? And they're like, we don't have any information, any proof. So when I electronically filed it, my amendment, none of the, I sent over birth certificates, a copy of my ID. I sent over school records showing that school records, the summary that shows like how long they've been in the school, from what year. And I sent over a copy of my lease and a bill.
So the reason
So
for the school records is to show that you were the one that had them admitted into that school, and you were the parent responsible for them.
no, it just shows, it ties the kids, the address into, like, that's the lease, and the school records reflect the
Okay,
address.
everything. Okay, got it.
So then I had to resend all the paperwork that I sent with my amendment because they got, but they didn't get any of the proof paperwork. Not sure how that happened.
Okay.
So I when I talked to the advocate, I had to resend her everything. So I sent her everything, and she said that it was not good enough, that the school records and the lease was not good enough, that I need to go down to the school and to my rental agency, because the school records reflect that my kids have been in the same school since 2019 as this house that I've been in since 2019. They need a breakdown. So they want me to basically have the school and the rental office people say, Susan has lived with her kids in the house from January to December of 2022. Susan and her kids lived in the house from January to December of 2021. So they
Okay.
want me to break it down, which how does, if my kids go with their dad for 1 month in the summer, how does the school or the rental agent know this?
So, I do want to highlight. That's why I said about when they have the when you have like the different doctor's notes and stuff like that. That shows that you have them during that time. You know. So, for instance, if you're the dad said that I had him in July, because that's, you said summertime, right?
Yeah,
So
he gets the month of July.
right. So if he had him in July, that's only 1 month. But I have paperwork showing that I have him throughout the year, you know?
Well, I also
And
provided a court order that I
huh?
have, breaks
So
down.
question, Angela, is there a certain amount of time that one parent can have them? Is there a certain amount of time that you have your kids that you're allowed to claim them? So like you have 12 months. If one parent have them for 3 months out the year, does that give precedence to the parent
So
that has them?
So technically, it's supposed to be 12 months. That's how when you fill out the tax paperwork, it say did you does the kid live with you, reside with you for the 12 months. But if let's say in your case it's not 12 months, it's 1 month, and you have them the 11 months. You have them the majority of the month, so you're able
Okay.
the year, so you're supposed to claim them, and that's how it's supposed to be. And I know
And I
for um I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
It's not on the screen.
You talking about me?
You you said that you had custody
Yeah.
paperwork, but
Tia,
oh, you said it's on the screen, girl. I
it's on
can't
the
see.
screen.
Look, I'm like I can't see. I have my glasses on and everything, going like
Oh,
this.
she came on camera being cute. She ain't trying to see nothing. Like, oh,
No,
have your glasses
I
on.
can't see nothing. I don't got them on. But so
yeah,
I know I spoke with you, and you said you actually had court documentation showing that you
yes.
had the kids for a certain amount of time. That is perfect, but like also like a lot of people, a lot of the parents.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry, Angela. I'm sorry to cut you off. For Tia's situation, her instance, her and the father is actually in two different states. So the whole time of last year's tax period, they were in two different states. So would her situation differ from Susan's as far as in being easier to
Okay, I see now. Tia and Susan. I had to go
she,
zoom in.
she had to get close, like I see you.
Right, I had to zoom in on it. Okay,
But
okay.
you see what I'm saying?
So,
So
Tia, you if the father lives in a different state, that's not a no brainer. How do you get the kids if you're not even in the same state?
so I
Right.
have a wait,
Yeah.
hold on. So I want to read a statement right now. Sharquenta in the comments said the parent claiming the credit has to have the child for more than 6 months out of the year. That's what I was thinking, isn't it? I knew something like a 6 month period,
Yes.
but I wasn't quite sure
Right,
how
that's
that
what I
worked.
said. So if it's
Thank you, Sharquenta. I hope
so
I'm saying your name right. I am so sorry if I'm not, because I'm Evelina and I hate for people to fuck it up.
so that's what I'm saying. So if the whoever had the child the majority of the time, because
Uh-huh.
some people, like for instance, Susan, you say you only have him for a month, but he'll try to say, let's say they say, oh, I have him 3 months or I have him 4 months. You had a majority of the time, so that's over the 6 month period. So of course you're the one who's supposed to be able to claim them.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's whatever parent has the child 6 months or better.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, in
So
my case, I had them on here.
I was getting ready to say, so I'm not sure if you answered it because Sharquenta's state comment caught me. So when Tia's case, she was in California the whole year of last year, and the baby's father was in Vegas. So how
So with Tia's case,
how is
because
that
Tia has
possible?
custody, Tia has paperwork showing that she had custody for over
Mhm.
6 months, right? Didn't you say starting July? So
Starting
she
it, yeah,
she
in June actually.
technically would show that paperwork, and she'll be able to get that. That's going to help her case right there.
And so so in that case, should her paper her situation be easier than Susan's, or is it just the same across the board?
Well, no, because as Susan said, they're basically saying because she stayed in that house for all those years, now she has to go down for a breakdown of each year, having someone say, yeah, she stayed in this house this long, this year. Like basically, for me, from what I'm hearing is you have to have somebody say, I stayed in the house from 2020 with the kids. They went to this school in 2020. Then they have to say in 2021 I stayed in this house 2021. They went to school 2021. So for you, Susan, it sounds like they're making you break it down year by year because you have a 3 year case,
Yeah.
right? Right.
Um.
Bertia only has it one for 1 year, but she already jumped on it, went to the IRS, went to talk to someone. She's about to get she has her pin, but she's actually about to get the kids' pin. So she was able to jump on it a little faster. So hers should be resolved faster.
Well,
That's
I
crazy because to hear that both Tia and Susan went through the process with the IRS and were informed to get that pin, how are you talking to a whole agent on the phone and they don't say, by the way, to protect your kids, you should come in and get the process done for them also. Each of you need your own pin. It's just, I'm going to say this
Basic
word, it may be a
information.
little corny, but flabbergasting to me that I can actually sit on the phone with an IRS rep and tell them what I'm going through. And hey, and they tell me, get this pin and protect yourself, but don't say, hey, by the way, you need to come in and get one for your kids too. I just
And
don't
you
get
Because
it.
they
guys
want
think
you
about it, the
on and
people
off
who
the
work for the
phone with
IRS.
limited information as possible.
Go ahead.
You're
I'm sorry, I didn't want to talk over you. Go ahead.
oh, they want to get you on and off the phone so they can
Real
take
fast.
calls to match their queue.
Exactly, and
And
that's exactly what I was about to say. The IRS is like, I don't know if you guys know, it's like for the welfare office, they're like hiring for this, and they keep on hiring, and it's like, people are like coming in and coming out. It's so busy that
Mhm.
they're trying to rush you off the phone. They don't have all the full details. Somebody could have just got hired, and now they have to find out from someone else. So that's why they have the IRS advocate, because she's going to make sure, or he, whoever the advocate is going to make sure to get that information. Whatever you are lacking from them, they're the middle person for you.
Okay.
the liaison.
So I want to
But in
ask
my
you, Susan, because
mhm.
I know that's something that even like with people when they were doing their unemployment, and so many people were filing for the false unemployment, that the real people who actually need it couldn't couldn't get it. So that's when the advocate had to come in as well for that. How
So
did you get your advocate?
with
Huh?
that being said, with that being said, Susan actually went through that one also.
Yeah. That's why I be here. Like I said, as a financial advisor, you hear all kind of different situations. So that's why I said it'd be a lot of different financial questions that I have to, that I work with, and I try to get the best information, because with the COVID, a lot of things have changed, and a lot of new stuff that you see, like the unemployment, and then the grants, and then all these different things that they were giving out. So the ones who actually had the unemployment, I have seen that they actually had to fight harder than the ones who were doing the fraud. So how did you get your advocate so that way they could go about getting them one, so if they need help?
I got my advocate because I just happened to call in. I probably went through about 7 other IRS agents, nobody offering to help me. I got this old lady on the phone. Um,
She probably been there
this
forever. Then she knows the ins and
probably,
outs.
Right.
and she looked and she said, you should have had this resolved by August.
Right.
That's your 20 weeks. Let me go ahead and assign you an advocate. So when I called in September, October, November, nothing. It was her in December that said, hey, I'm going to get you an advocate. Uh, and that's how I got the advocate.
So once you do the addendum, right? It said
Did what?
once you did your addendum, so it takes 20 weeks for them to give you an answer. Is
Oh
what
my gosh.
is what I'm hearing. I'm just going by, I'm just trying to highlight some of the
Well,
notes that I'm hearing from you, so that way, if people have questions, they'll know about how long the process
Right.
is. So
Well, the
once, so,
process is only supposed to take a couple weeks. They said due to COVID and high volume, it's going to take 16. And then they turned around and said, oh, due to COVID, we're taking 20. They're,
so
like I
right now
said,
it's at 20 weeks.
yeah. And right now I've been at 52,
I
53
was gonna
weeks.
say you're past that.
53 weeks.
So you're double.
So, so yeah, but the good thing is, and something that people may not know is, even though the IRS BSs, when you do get your money, they have to add interest because of their time.
Oh, really? That's good to know,
Yeah,
then, Susan. That's really good to
yeah, they
highlight.
have to add interest. I don't know what the interest rate is, but they have to add interest. So if you were getting
A little bit of
4,000,
nothing.
you might get 4,400. So they have to add interest on the time it takes to get you your money back.
Well, that's good. That's a good
That's
initiative for people to keep on fighting.
Right.
Because, you know, some
Well, the
people
whole
might just give
thing.
up after 52 weeks.
Well, I'm not giving up on this one, but
No,
So,
that's
it's
good.
so
but that's what
question.
they
So
want
when
you
you
to
have a
do.
situation of Susan been dealing with this for 3 years. Tia, this is her first year. We have a situation of a parent claiming a child or children when they should not have. Does that cause you, the the main parent, the parent that's there full time, like that next year, does that cause you a problem when it's time to file now because someone else
So
claimed
you're
in the
saying, like,
previous year?
is the parent going to get audited because of
You're
the
right, because like
situation?
you're right.
Is that the question? If they're going to
Yes.
get audited? So there's there's no way to say who's going to get audited or who's not going to
Okay.
get audited. But as a tax payer, we do have to do our due diligence. We have a due diligence list that we have to check. So usually, what they do is, let's say, for instance, you have three kids, and one of the kids got claimed. You're going to take them off the taxes. And then if you put it through and you do your taxes, you claim one kid, but then you took the other kid off. So then that's where the addendum come in at that you're supposed to put in, and that's why that's how you're basically fighting to say, like, this kid is supposed to be mine. So next year, if you're going to try to claim the kids, it's basically the same process all over again. Whoever claimed the kid, like if he claims it first, then you're basically back to square one. And I think that's what happened with Susan, where 3 years in a row she was going back and forth trying to claim the kid.
So
Is that correct,
Nip all
Susan?
of that
Is
in
is
the
that,
that,
bud
yeah, is
so
that right,
I
Susie?
can.
Yeah. So what actually
am I saying your
happened
name right?
was, yeah, Susan.
Okay.
The 20. Okay, so we're dealing with 2020, 21, and 22. Somewhere in 21, I actually got my paperwork in before he did, and I did end up getting my money, but they did require me to send them a whole bunch of paperwork.
So
So
you had to
what's
send a bunch of
happening?
paperwork, and when it came time for him doing it, he was able to get away with it.
But
Yeah.
he might have did an addendum as well.
He actually could not come up with the paperwork
See,
to do it. But yeah, he couldn't get the paperwork to do it, so there was no proof for him. uh it's just the process of who gets it first, and it's
right,
like a game. To be honest,
right.
it's a game.
And that's why I said when she had to do the paperwork, he probably did the addendum on her, and now, but whoever approved it basically won that case for that year, and then moving the next year, it's going to be the same thing until whoever gets audited, and then that's when it's going to go into a different phase of now I'm audited, so now I have to prove the paperwork. I have to prove the kids anyway.
So
But if
question,
she
Now,
Susan.
goes to get the IP pin, will that nip all of that in the bud?
That's what it's supposed to be for your protection.
So Susan, question. So considering
yeah,
he's done his 3 years, it's been a 3 year battle.
yes.
What happened in the first 2 years to where we didn't get to the solution of get this pin or some conclusion on stopping this from happening again?
I was never told to get an individual pin for my children.
So
I
pretty
was
much
told to
those
get
first
it.
2 years, you thought it was just a race to whoever get it done first.
um the first year, what actually happened, something I'm dealing with now, was that he was one of those parents with the unemployment, and he ended up putting my kids on unemployment and then claiming all of that income. The second year, I ended up filing first, but they made me send a whole bunch of paperwork in. Last year's taxes, what ended up happening is he filed first, I filed, I sent an amendment, but they basically sent a letter to him saying, hey, you need to send us proof. And then I sent in my amendment with all of my stuff.
But
So
in the
you already was
meantime,
prepared. You already knew
yes,
what to send in.
Yeah, I
but
knew what to send in.
but in the meantime, he already received the money.
For no,
last
he
year?
for yeah. So for no, last year he did not receive the money. They held it because he messed up. He went to one of them type of tax preparers,
Oh.
and
I
they
don't
put
know.
too much.
No.
What I mean by a number cruncher, let me get you the most for nothing that you made.
You're right.
And
I know.
he claimed too much. He said he made too much and didn't have any proof of it, being self-employed. And then they wanted information on the children, and he couldn't break down either. So it's been the 2020 he got paid for. So he collected the stimuluses and he collected the tax money. Um 21, I got my money, and then this last year they held it from him, waiting on proof that he never sent. So I sent the proof with my amendment,
So
which
with that
still
being
isn't good
said,
enough.
I do want to piggyback off of that with people have to know the difference between a seasoned professional tax preparer and a button pusher. So you have people think, oh, I go to H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt, and I'm not slamming none of them. I'm not saying that they do not that they're not familiar with laws. Please do not take this that way, because there are some that have gone to school or studied the law or this and that and the other. Oh, I see. Sharquinta's messaging audits are randomly flagged by the system. Thank you, Sharquinta. I really appreciate your input here. Please, anything else that we're missing, boom, throw them in the chat because I will get
I
to
didn't hear
it.
I didn't hear what you said.
She
What she
said,
said?
Sharquinta said that audits are randomly flagged by the system. When we were
Yeah,
talking
that's why I
about
said
the
there's no
audits
way we could
before,
tell you.
so we have no way of knowing.
Hmm.
But what I was saying was sometimes people they look for the, of course, because I am guilty, the cheaper scapegoat to where
Exactly.
you don't go to the professional or experienced tax preparer, and you want to go to someone that know how to put line one and line one, line two and line two. Just take everything from your W-2 and put it into the system and get a number. But they don't know how to
Which
tell
you
you
could do
how to get
yourself.
they don't know how to tell you to get your earnings, save your money, get your credits, none of that extra stuff, any laws. Put it this way, if they got to file anything on paper, they can't do it for you, you know? So when you are faced with these problems and you go to um, the number people, the button pushers, then it takes longer and longer. Then by the time you know it, you're like you, Susan, you're next year in when you realize that he's gotten his money and there's nothing you can do until late. Um, so with that being said, is there certain things we should look for when we look for a tax preparer or
Well, of
anything?
course, like you said, the ones who, let's say, who want to just get the most out of with the most money, those are the ones that you have to be afraid of, because you can move numbers around. And let's say you only made $15,000 that year, and you have two kids, and now you're going to get back about $7,000 average, let's say for two kids, and then you get back your $7,000, but
Is that with
now,
or without a job?
with, like, let's say with the, I'm saying 15,000. So
Okay.
with the job or without a job, okay? Because some people, like you said, claims unemployment, and some or self employment, and then some people, have a job and actually have W-2s. So I'm just using this as an example. If they have
Okay.
$15,000 for how much they made, however they made it, and now you're saying with the W-2 you have your two kids. Now you're just pushing the buttons and putting the information in, and you're getting what you're supposed to get back. But when you do self-employment and you have $15,000, now you have to show how I made this, but how much did I use out of this so I could get something back,
Right.
because
Right.
usually when you're self-employment, you're not getting no taxes taken out. So now you have to show that Now you have to say, okay, I have to give this amount back, or I have to give this back. And let's say, for example, like you'll say miscellaneous, like you paid 500,000, like $500 for a sign. But if you're only getting $15,000 and you're saying you spent out $13,000, that's a red flag, because now you're gonna get back $7,000. But it's like, how did you worked and did what? You only worked all year for $2,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So the numbers, I mean, you could put in any numbers. Let's just say that anybody could go in there, put numbers in, and make it look good. But you also have to think for yourself too. Like, does that sound right? Like, I'm gonna get back $7,000 and I made $15,000, and I'm saying I spent $13,000.
So that's when
So
you go get them funny taxes done, and you have to watch that because they're trying to push the limit.
right, because now
Um,
they're
and,
pushing the
and you're
limit.
trying to push the limit because you want to get as much money back as possible, and you
Right,
could really screw yourself.
right, and they also could get in trouble too. Don't just because they're a taxpayer and they're putting it in there doesn't mean like, okay, I'm just gonna push it out and nothing's gonna happen, because um the proper taxpayer is supposed to get um their PIN number and everything so that they can actually do taxes. So, you know, but that's a whole different story. We're not even gonna go into that. But
Right.
that's how you know. That's how you know also if they're a fraud or not. Because if they don't have their number registered with the IRS, then of course, okay, that's the red flag right there. Because they just put in any number and they don't care.
You mean Susan's tax service out my bathroom ain't gonna cut it?
Right.
Okay, so Susan, where are you at now as far as in your situation with the taxes from last year? Are they getting to a conclusion with it? Are they fixing it? Or are you just screwed?
um, I have turned in all my paperwork. I'm just waiting on a letter from the school and a letter from my rental agency, and I'll be complete with everything, and they could go ahead and process it out.
Okay.
Luckily for me, he didn't try to turn in any paperwork, so it's just me proving.
Well,
So
he
Angela,
can't.
is that
You have
normal for
charges.
it to take a full Angela, is that normal for it to take a full year for this? Because that was last tax season. We're in a whole new season right
Yeah,
now.
look, ain't nothing normal since
You
COVID.
dealing with the IRS.
Ain't nothing
When
normal.
you dealing with the IRS, it's all a surprise.
It's like waking up every morning like, did I get my money? You know how, where's my refund? And everybody keep on checking, where's my refund? That's how it is with trying
Yep.
to make sure you you get your stuff.
So
So hopefully, like she says,
Angela,
that she had all the paperwork and she had the advocate. Hopefully, it's going to be coming in sooner than later, because it sounds like she's in a final straws now. He couldn't prove it. It's like basically you're going to court at the IRS. So he couldn't prove the document, so she won. So now they just have to give her money.
okay, so just for the record, the documents. Be ready with what, Angela? What's your parents, mothers, fathers? Like I said again earlier, I know I called this is girlfriend zone and this is a girlfriend's moment, and we've called this deadbeat dads. But both men and women go through this. But at the end of the day, I'm talking to my girlfriends. What should our women be ready with? Documents.
So, like she said, mostly it's the birth certificate. They might the Social Security, because when you do taxes, that's they actually ask for your Social Security cards for like a proof of documents. So I would say a birth certificate, Social Security card, school records, and like I said, I always just tell people like if they have doctor's appointments and stuff like that, because that shows like, hey, this I was here on this day, we were here on this day, so that just shows that you had custody at that time, you know.
Right.
So just in case, I'm not saying that this is a situation, but let's say, for instance, if you're married and you guys broke up, but both of you guys are on the school records. So now how are you guys going to determine who has the kids? So now you have to go a little further to say, oh, now, January I took them to the doctor, February I took them to the, so now you're proving that you have them for that 6 months.
This is so crazy in Tia's case that the whole year, entire year, the kids were in California. She lived in California. and the father lived and worked in Vegas. Like, how are you able to get away with this? It's like crazy.
So
So
he's not
what
going
are
to be
the
able to provide no
consequences?
paperwork when it's
Right, but
time
I'm
to show
talking
the
about get
doctors.
So
away
what
with it
are
as
the
far as in being able to file in the first place.
Hmm.
Like, why am I even waiting to get my taxes? Why am I even waiting to file? Why did you
because
get
the
a
tax
check?
preparer isn't asking for school records or proof.
I'm just saying it should be some type of thing in the system, but that's nor here nor there. That's something different, way beyond reach. At the end of the day,
You have to write a letter
um,
to the IRS and say this is what we need.
right, they come after you for they shit. I need to come after you for my shit.
Right.
Right.
So what
So
are the consequences at the end of the day? So say
that's a good
Tia
question.
gets, they approve Tia, you showed enough proof, they've already paid the ex-husband out. So what are the consequences for the person that claimed the children that shouldn't?
So I'm not for sure exactly how much they get in trouble for or penalized. Let's say the professional word penalized, but let's say if he got 5,000, he's definitely gonna have to pay that $5,000 back, and then he might get a penalty on top of that.
So the most that you could say at hand is a payback. So if they're like Susan said, her kid's father, he's self-employed and he pretty much runs when he wants to. It's just one
He
of the things
what?
he runs from the system when he wants to. Like he's self-employed. He either reports income or he doesn't. So it's one of the things where, okay, I owe now, I just don't sue. That's the only thing that you have to look forward to is you can
That's just
still.
like how many baby daddies is on child support and actually pay their child
Huh?
support. And that's just like how many baby daddies is on child support and actually paying their child support. Like
But
you
the
have to,
difference is, no, that's
they
true.
have
But the
to,
difference
the
is they've
government
actually
has to
been paid
find them.
out money instead of owing money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now they owe the money. So basically, it's the government who has to find them. They're not going to be able to do, like, they're not going to be able to claim
Mm.
taxes no more because when they claim taxes, they're going to have to pay that back.
So, reading a comment from Sharquenta, she says it's also a possibility that he's disallowed credits for a period of time.
Hmm.
So, when you say credits, I'm not quite sure what that term is. That like being able to
Like the
file
child tax
again?
credit and stuff. The earned income credit, the child tax credit, those
Mm,
credits.
okay.
So like in my case, I even sent that was one thing I called the child support office. Can I have a printout of my child support payments which are all at zero?
Right.
Sent that to the IRS too. So what I'm saying is, yeah, there's a lot of people that don't pay their child support and it just builds up and it owes. But now child support, I don't know about in where you guys are at, but in California, child support really ain't worth a shit. So there's no consequence behind not paying child support. So now we're dealing with the IRS, who's a little bit more serious about their money compared to child support. So does the IRS say, hey, I'm going to take you to court because you committed fraud?
That goes into basically like how they want to, how much money it is actually, and like they every year it's going to be interest. So he's going to get taxed
Mm-hmm.
every year. But like I said, when it goes to why I use the word child support, because when you in Las Vegas, if you owe child support, they're going to take that out the taxes first. They take child support out the taxes first before they do anything else. So if you owe the IRS, they're going to take that money. That's just like if you owe for school loans, they're going to take that money first, and then they're going to whatever is left over, that's what he gets. So the more that he owes, like let's say if he owes 10,000 this year, he only gets 6,000. They're gonna take that, and then next year when he claimed, they're gonna take the other 4,000, and then next year that's
What if
when
there is no
I can't hear you. What?
what if there is no next year? What if like fuck they took my money? I'm not filing taxes anymore.
Right. So that's why I said that goes up to the government now. If like how much it is, like if they're gonna do legal action. like, because that's basically owing the IRS. You owe
Mm-hmm.
them.
Hmm. All right. Well, any additional questions, ladies?
I just
No.
have one more for Susan. Susan, when you did your addendum, did you go to the IRS website and do the addendum, or how did you pull up the addendum for people so that way they'll know how to get it?
My tax lady did it.
Okay. Yeah, because I, I
That's all. I
I
didn't
did
feel
my
like.
I did my ladies too, but there's when you call the IRS, Tia, how did you do yours?
I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
The addendum. How did you fill your addendum
I
out
don't even
yet?
think she got that far.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my tax preparer to send me my returns to paper file, so I haven't done anything outside of collect my documents, get my documents together.
And so that's why I asked, because a lot of people, like you said, they're looking for the cheapest person. So for 2000, they'll go to one person, and then 2001, they'll go to another one. And then let's say if something happens, I couldn't tell you what happened with your taxes because you went through your tax lady. So now you want me to figure out how to solve this problem. And some people won't touch your taxes now because it's like, now this is a risky business. Like, now I have to go back and I have to do all this and I have to figure this out. So it's always great to keep with the same taxpayer, but also make sure your taxpayer is knowing what they're doing. And then if you have a taxpayer that you don't trust and you want to switch over, please be aware and give that taxpayer, the new one, all the information that they need. Because a lot of people will just come and they'll just have you fill out all the tax information, and that's when you find out they owe $20,000. So now you didn't prepare their taxes. You're not going to get paid for your time. You're helping them with all these questions, and now they're not. Now the person who's actually helping you is not benefiting. It's the other person who received the money last year or who received the money when you did it.
So isn't that like an upsell? It may be the wrong word, but what I'm saying is, you said that some tax preparers won't even touch your stuff that someone else prepared before, or this, and that, and the other. If they're like a real tax person and has been doing this for years, know the books, know how to do papers, know how to do all this, that, and the other, don't they just charge you to prepare and fix your stuff?
Some do, but that goes into the question of if they know what they're doing.
Okay, because I'm like, if I come to you, Keisha on Fleek, hello ladies, hey, how's it going? It goes to, if sometimes people don't want to touch that. I'm sitting here like, okay, wait a minute, you're the tax preparer, you should have a price breakdown to do XYZ. If you can't, my thing, a red flag for me is if I go to a tax preparer and they start giving me the cold shoulder because they see that I owe, or I'm not getting a return for them to get their money out front. My thing is it really a tax preparer or is it a button pusher? Because you should just be
And
giving
see,
me
and
an
that's where
amount
you'll
to, you
learn
should
if
definitely
they're what
upsell and tell
they're
me,
able to help you. And so taxpayers, when they do it, some people do charge like 9 out of 10. If you owe, they're gonna charge you up front. They're not gonna be like, oh, let me fix this.
right, exactly. Oh, did we lose Angela?
Can you
Where is it?
There you
Oh,
go.
there she goes.
can you still hear me?
We got you, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I had a phone call coming in. A lot of people, they're gonna charge you upfront because now it's more work. And like I said, the ones who know what they're doing, they're gonna help you because that's where they do their seminars. That's where they go to school. They take classes. Like, so they're able to help you because they're more prepared. The ones who just push the buttons, they're not gonna want to touch it because now it's like, oh, okay, well, what can I
Or how it
do? You
works.
already owe, you
And
know?
we don't know what to
So,
do, right?
right. So that's why I said, like, just be upfront. Long as you're upfront, you're gonna get the answers that you need.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So the main thing to the story is the point to the story is be aware of your tax preparer because when you're dealing with a situation like this, when you're dealing with a parent that has claimed the children without your permission and everything else, you can be like Tia, where she's waiting for her paperwork to be filed. She's waiting to find out what's next. I do know that she's reached out several times to her person. Like, what do I do? What do I do? I know there was a cutout time, a cut off time, excuse me, to where if she would have had certain paperwork turned in by a certain time, it possibly could have prevented the other parent from even receiving money. So once the other parent receives money, I do know now it takes the IRS longer to actually get to your situation, get to handle your case because they paid out money and they don't want to double pay.
Well, when
Yeah.
I did talk to the IRS did tell me when I talked to them just last week that I will still get my money too when I mail it in. I'll still get my money too, but it's the case of he's gonna owe moving forward. So, of course, I don't know the outcome or the results. I'm still waiting on X, Y, and Z to happen, but I was told by the IRS that I would still receive it.
What I want to know from both of y'all is why y'all.
Bottom line, people get greedy when it comes to
I'm
money.
gonna go one at a time, but the question is, and I'll tell you who I want first. What I want to know from both of you that's dealing with this right now, was there at some point that you were dealing with this person and you like, this motherfucker a deadbeat and I should have been gone?
Man, look, all I can say to any female after me, that's your puppy now.
Not the
That is
puppy.
your puppy now.
Not the puppy. Poor little baby.
Not
Yes,
the
the poor little
puppy.
baby.
Because this is some bullshit to have to deal with this right now.
Definitely.
But you know what?
Go.
I look at it like I don't want the experience because it's frustrating, but
Mm,
I appreciate the experience in a way because
it's a lesson.
at least I know when somebody else is going through it that I could guide them through it when I succeed.
Exactly.
I can't believe you've been dealing with this for 3 years and finally just getting some information to actually help you for next year.
Yeah.
That's the downside. And Tia, in your case, if I'm not mistaken, he actually already had other kids to claim and still claimed yours. And one of them is not even his. In her case, one of them is not even his, and he claimed her.
My oldest daughter is not his.
That's the crazy part.
So,
Like, how do you get to claim somebody else's kids?
and when I left him, he moved on, got in a whole new relationship, got that girl pregnant within a month or two, and they had twins. So there was no reason for him to have to claim my children.
And
None.
she already had one. So, with that being said,
Right.
when I see you, I'm gonna beat your ass. No, let me. Okay, y'all, look.
I'm trying to keep it
I'm not
cordial,
doing it
but
like.
there's so many thoughts that it went through my head. I'm like, if I was really like that for real, I would have had somebody get him already. Like,
But
yeah,
you
Mm-mm.
know
you
what?
got me
Sometimes
messed
it's
up.
just the you got to keep quiet and let karma or somebody operate because
What she said on Friday, I'm gonna beat her ass.
sometimes you gotta anyone could take an ass whooping, but when you hurt somebody pockets, that cuts deep.
I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna lie though. I done beat some ass and I done felt real good.
Look, we
I done
gonna
felt
jump my
real
You know
good.
BB.
what?
I was
In
like,
my
I'm
case,
gonna
I've been letting him skate way too much. Like, it's time to, there ain't no child support, none of
Yeah,
that. It's time
and
to change
Vegas
some
laws
stuff
are a
up.
lot different.
we got DJ Duck said, I'll get him.
Which one? Mine or hers?
Right?
Mine or
Both of
hers?
them, please.
I would
Sharquinta, she
appreciate some
said,
love.
hold on, y'all, because Sharquinta said when choosing a tax preparer, ask questions a lot. Uh, A lot of
That is,
preparers at
she's absolutely
H&R,
correct.
J&H, and Liberty are new to their training and is minimal. More times that more times than not thrown in the office with no support. Exactly. That's what I don't know if you was
She
in here,
is a hundred
Sharquenta,
percent
when I was saying that
correct.
earlier. A lot of times they're just button pushers and you go to these people trusting them and don't realize they're just copying line A to line A in a computer, line two to line two. And when you actually they ask a question, they're like, hold on, let me ask my supervisor. And if they're not in the office, they got to send a text message real quick. What do I say?
And that's why we love DJ Duck.
Right.
I'm like, y'all just got a man in the chat, and y'all just like, hey, no, we're man
No,
mashing
because
right
in
now.
real
So can
life
you stop?
irritates me, especially because he did
They don't
reach
know
out the only
shit.
time. He didn't reach out
Sharquenta
about
said they
his
don't know
kids, but
shit.
he definitely reached out to ask me if he can claim my daughter
Well, you said he
because he
asked.
yes, he asked me at like in like November or October, one of those. At the end of the coming up on the end of the year, he asked me because and he said his reasoning was because he only got $200 back for taxes last year. Sound like a personal problem to me. I really don't give a damn.
Okay, you
So
can
he
answer
gave you
this,
a
or you
red
don't
flag.
have to answer this. But why he's talking about that $200? Was he paying child support?
Nope. He told me all year. We talked about it. I told him I was giving him a chance more than I should have. I know. Yes, yes, yes. But I told him I would
Yes,
give
yes,
him a
yes.
chance before I put him on paperwork. Do you want to agree with me to pay me a certain amount of money, child support for your daughter before I put you on paperwork? Like I don't. We don't have to do that if you can just agree to. Yeah, I will. I will. Once I get a job, I got you. Like, just let me get a job and we can talk about that all year long. And then I get a question about claiming her on taxes. Never got a cent out of him. He ain't sent not a dime for her since I left him. Nothing.
Has he even came to California to see her?
He came once, one time, and for a couple hours, like 2 hours, and that was
Were
it.
you guys
He
married,
came
Tia?
empty-handed.
Marquenta
Yes,
wants to
we were.
know if you guys were married.
Yes, we are still married legally.
And just for the record, just in case she wasn't in here, one of the kids that he claimed was not his. It's from your previous relationship. That's correct.
Yep, my oldest.
Yeah, that's crazy. You
Yep.
have any advice, Sharquenta? Sharquenta, you want to come on up? That's why he didn't claim the oldest daughter. That's why he can't claim the oldest daughter. Wait a minute,
Oh,
Sharquenta.
because you were married.
Wait, but the oldest daughter is the one that's not his. I need to know how
But
this
they were
works.
claiming together when they were married.
Mm.
They were claiming as a family when they were married.
In
So
the
all
plot
he did was
thickens.
knock her out and claim the kids and took her out of the equation, Tia out of the equation.
Oh
So with
my.
no legal responsibility over her, with no adoption, no legal nothing over her, he can still do that just because we were married.
Right. Is that how that
No,
happens,
because you guys
Sharquenta?
had married and done it in the past.
Oh,
But they
Girl,
don't
y'all,
really check.
Sharquenta got
Like,
me wanting to give her the mic. Like, come on, let's look. Where's your phone line at? Look. I'm like,
so
the plot just thickened.
if how you were saying, Angela, how you were saying like somebody was selling their kid, and that's the thing is like people sell kids and then they are able to claim, me, I bought a kid, I'm able to claim it on my taxes. So people do it all the time. It's just there's
Mm.
really no laws. Like some tax preparers are a lot more stricter than others when it comes to providing information on, is this kid really legit for you to claim? And some just say, give me the money, let
So
me blah 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 blah, here you go.
what Sharquenta said is when you are married, you can claim your spouse's kid. So okay, that makes sense. I get it now. Because it was a situation
Yeah.
of that's not even his child. How do you do blah blah blah? but that paperwork.
That really makes my blood boil even more. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm trying to keep my composure on this live stream.
Go ahead, shake the table.
Like, fuck him.
It
Fuck
pisses
him.
me
I hate
off
you so
so
much right
bad.
now.
Like I'm over here
That's
thinking
her
like
puppy now,
I fucking
girl. Her
since
puppy now.
if that's the fucking case, I wish I had the baby's socials since we swapping kids. Shit.
Right, his over there, right? Like, since we
Yes.
swapping, can I get
Like, let's trade.
Right. It really
right?
irritates me
You know,
so bad.
wait. Where did Angela go? Because that's the question. Sharquina, you in here. Wait, where did Angela go? So since we're still married, but you done moved on and had twins, brand new twins with somebody else, but we're married, can I claim them? Sharquina,
Hmm.
can she claim somebody else's kids? I'm not saying do it. Don't do it. I just want to know.
No.
I just want to know the legalities of all this
Yeah,
stuff.
Sharquinta's correct. He still doesn't qualify because he had kids, but that's why you have to fight. So
Oh, I'm
technically he
going to
could,
fight.
if you didn't fight it, legally he can't get in trouble.
Oh, I'm fighting it. He not getting away with this. And
Yeah.
he gonna have to
So what
answer
it
the child
is
support on the
people
way
don't
there too.
expect you to
I don't
fight.
care
They
anymore.
think you're just gonna let them run you over. And
Mm-mm.
oh, okay, well he did it this year, but then when you actually provide, people just get greedy and I don't know, motherfuckers that ain't got
That's
shit,
been
ain't
his
ever
fucking
had shit,
problem.
just
He's
go
been
cuckoo for a
greedy. He's
dollar.
been
DJ
deadbeat.
Duck
He
says
been
yes.
lazy. He
So I,
been nothing. So this don't surprise me.
DJ Duck says
Agreed.
yes. I'm thinking he's saying you can claim his kids too. Too bad you ain't got their
I,
socials. Cause I've been
I'm
there.
good on that. It was a thought, not gonna lie. I'm being
You need
very
them socials,
vindictive
but
mentally.
They already claimed those kids too.
right, they did
Oh,
it all
I bet
together.
that makes me so mad. Like y'all sitting over there with 5 kids under your belt. That really
Yeah.
pisses me off
If
so
I'm not
bad.
mistaken, but you can only claim what, like four, or is it
Three.
Yeah,
three?
or
Three.
three.
Three
But
is
Okay.
the
she
max.
got 3 and he claimed
So they
mine
just
too.
split them up. They just split some kids up.
If he gave my kids to her, that would really, you know what?
Sharquina, Sharquina said no because she's gonna get in trouble. He can't even claim the kids because he's still married to you. Oh, so he can't claim the baby mamas because he's married. Oh,
But
Is
he could
that
claim his
why he
own.
took my
yes.
kids?
That's why. My bad. There he is. So he can
But
claim.
he could claim
Okay.
his
Woo,
own.
shit. I was about to say we're shaking the table.
Yeah. Any
Around
kids
here,
he
I'm
has.
like, so he can't even claim his own kids he had with somebody else because he's married. Woo,
Right.
it was about to get thick up in here. Okay,
So
so
what
he
they
can
did,
claim
what
the
the
one that
IRS
he
does
birthed with
do,
her. Hold on, so just to make sure, he can claim the one, the twins that he birthed with her because
yes.
they're his. He can't
Yes.
claim her previous one because he's married.
So another thing that
That's
they'll
what it
make you,
sounds like she's saying.
yeah. So another thing that they will do is, so I heard through the grapevine, like say
Uh-uh.
this year,
So
because
allegedly, because we don't want no damn grapevine.
okay, so what ended up happening was last year, you my kid's dad claimed one of his new kids plus my kids. So this year when he did his taxes, he didn't use my kids for this year. He used one of his twins. But the IRS kept making the tax preparer fill out a form basically saying he has permission to claim this particular child.
Mm.
And yeah, and it got kicked back about 5 times and it finally got accepted like maybe on the 5th or 6th time.
Okay.
But it was a
So
form that had to be filled out.
Sharquenta said he can claim all them kids except stops at 3, but the child tax credit he can get for all of them. I'm sorry, kids EIC stops at 3. I
What
just
is the
made
EIC?
the earned income credit,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. Because I just made up some some whole shit. I said accept, but I know what she meant. Look, I'm gonna blame it on the alcohol. I'm out. But yeah, earned income credit. It stops at 3, but the child tax credit you can get for all 3.
So
Okay.
let Sharquenta explain what the earned income credit is.
Girl, you see, I've been trying to get Sharquenta up here.
Okay, she needs to come on with us.
Oh, baby. I'm just looking at my text message. I know who the hell Sharquenta is, and I need her to get up here.
Well, how do we get her up?
She's a 16-year tax preparer expert.
She needs to be on here.
Oh, damn.
With Angela.
Text me. Is you prepared? You can turn your camera off if you want. But can I send you the link? I need some. Look, Ricky, you got some explaining to do. Wait, no, it's Lucy. Look, I'm just not looking at my phone. I'm so late and I'm slow.
I need some of what you're sipping. Sure.
I know, I'm empty.
I am too, but I'm not pouring another one.
Because we done lost Angela. Where did she go?
I mean, but I need my camera off.
Add her, but she needs her camera off.
Add me, but okay, camera off. All right. Text me. Hold on, I'm texting her right now because I need these words. Because this is a delay. Oh, she sent it. Hold on. Ooh, wee, baby. Hold on. I think that. Oh, send it. Let me see. Text me your email. I'm gonna send it through there because that's the fastest way I know.
Sister, did you get my text?
I am not live on Instagram. I was
You're not.
scared.
What you scared of? You have to not be scared and dive in.
We put an
You're
announcement
doing
out
fine.
there.
Oh.
And people liked it.
Did they? Somebody liked it?
A few people.
Ooh. I don't even think it's gonna let me give it to him now. Let me see.
Yeah, they can chime in on the part where we start talking about the deadbeats. Because I got a lot to say. I'm just kidding. I kid. I don't.
Please copy paste your stream key from Instagram. I don't know what a stream key is. It says paste your stream key from Instagram. Girl, they're gonna get a link. I don't know what a stream key is. Oh, she just sent me her email. You know what a stream key is, Tia? See if you can figure it out while I send her this invite.
It's probably on there. I don't know what that is. It's probably on your stream stuff.
I think it's a stream key from Instagram.
I tried to just share the link from I was gonna just share the link from YouTube, but for whatever reason I can't log in on the iPad and I didn't want to interrupt the live stream, so to do it off my phone.
Well, do it real quick.
Okay, be right back.
All right, I sent it. Let me know if you got the email. Angela just dropped off from us.
Yeah.
Huh?
And she was very helpful.
Yes. All right, so we're waiting for two people to come back. Oh, wait for Nas to come in and Tia to share the link and come back. All I need is one mic, one mic. Here she go. Boom, add to the stage. We got you, Shaquinta. Oh, Angela said her phone died.
Oh man.
Right. Look, where my percent? Oh, I'm still on 93%. Oh, because I'm not using my phone now. I'm using my computer.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, ooh, while I'm speaking, about to lose all service. We can't hear you, Shaquinta, if you're in. It doesn't even say that you're on mute. Oh, she dropped.
What is chat?
Back.
Hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello. And T is back. Okay,
Hi,
Shaquinta,
hi.
introduce yourself and your expertise. Let us know.
Okay. My name is Shaquinta Griley. I've been doing taxes for over 16 years. I was a manager for Jackson Hewitt for about 13 of those years. And I'm a paralegal. I do arts management. I got a lot of stuff on my plate.
Okay.
Okay.
Businesswoman.
Most
We
definitely.
like a ball.
Right.
I was sitting
Were
there
you
like,
able, excuse me, were you able to get that shared to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I looked at that link and I was like, I'm gonna stay away from Instagram. Instagram still scare me.
We gotta shake that like yesterday.
Okay. All right, Shaquinta, because I'm up here reading your comments, and that is so funny. I was like, look, she got all the tea. I need her up here to let us know what's going on. We had delays going on and everything else. Let us know, was we on the right track or did we screw it all up?
no, you guys are on the right track. I just couldn't type fast enough. I was like, oh my goodness. Um, I wanted to touch on you guys. One of you guys was saying that you were dealing with the taxpayer advocate.
Yeah.
I
That's a
think that's
good
program.
Susan.
Okay, Susan. That's a good place to go whenever the IRS holds anything, and usually
Uh-huh.
with them, once you turn in all your documents, it usually takes them about 30 days to release your refund. I just actually went
Okay.
through it myself with them. I had a return from last year. My employer didn't submit the W-3, so they held my return the whole year. I went through the taxpayer
Okay.
advocacy program, and once I submitted the letter from the company, everything was released within 30 days.
Okay. Yeah,
Susan,
it's just getting them. They keep saying, "Oh, we're so behind. We're so behind."
wait, is she
Yeah,
talking to us?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because you were talking at the same time as her. So I was like, she was talking, I kept hearing, okay, okay. And I'm like, oh, wait, she talking to somebody?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah, their excuses were really, really behind on all the amendments.
Okay, so the thing is, you said about 30 days, but Susan been dealing with this for about a year. What's the difference?
well, because she hasn't submitted all of her documents that they want to the taxpayer advocate yet. Once she
Oh,
receives
well,
it,
the uh-huh.
once she receives it and processes it, and it's crazy because the taxpayer advocate, they're actually part of the IRS. So they can
Okay.
log
Yeah.
in and see your information. They ask the same exact questions as the IRS does once when you call in, the agent does. And then
Uh-huh.
they actually are the person who releases your return. They're going to make it seem like, the IRS, this, that, and the other. But the IRS will tell you, oh, no, we sent it to them. They have to release it.
Okay,
Okay.
so with that being said, um it's been a year. It wasn't until I received the advocate that she said, "Oh, well, we don't have your paperwork." And I said, "Well, why didn't anyone that was doing my stuff all this time, why did I not get a letter in the mail or anything asking for it? How come I'm just hearing this from you Um, and she said, "Oh, the IRS is really behind."
And a lot of the agents aren't trained. They're basically like a call center right now. The first people that you get to, they basically look in there, see the notes, and then they have to escalate it for you to get any further questions answered. So, and they are behind because you got to remember when COVID hit and everyone was sending in all those paper returns that the IRS shut down. Like anything you send in paper is going to take time because they're still going through things from previous years. So they're not
They
running yet.
process people's taxes in 2 seconds. You can feel and y'all sitting at home doing paperwork. Turn on some music and get that shit done.
So there was I was speaking to Susan earlier, and she got actually a call from, I think it was the advocate, and it was giving her a date, a timeline to get certain things done so she can get her results right away. Is there a certain amount of time that you have before it's just too late and the stuff that they can do?
Um, I'm not gonna really say it is a certain time, but even if you miss the deadlines, a lot of times they give you a grace period. So you'll be okay to send it in. If it takes a little longer, you just have to communicate that.
See, and
And
they
so you don't have to go through the problems that Susan went through with that delay that took her this year versus yours, like literally happening in a matter of weeks. What type of paperwork is best to have ready up front?
Basically everything, Angela was saying earlier, you need to have, any type of proof that the child has been living with you, matching address. If there's government benefits, you want to get a letter, that letter, because that proves that, I've been the person receiving benefits for the child all year. You want to get the school records, medical records, anything connecting the child to your address for the year.
Right. So Susan said that she had turned that stuff in. Susan, what were you explaining earlier when you had turned the stuff in and they said that wasn't good enough? What did you turn in?
No,
I turned in a copy of my lease with my children on it. I turned in my court record
you stop
showing.
Moving around, you're making me dizzy.
I had to pee and put you guys on hold. I turned in my lease. I turned in their school records reflecting from when they started the school with my address, blah, blah, blah. I turned in my court papers showing the custody breakdown and like birth certificate and my ID. They want me to turn around. This doesn't make any sense to me that you want me, because in my custody order, it says that he gets them for the month of July. So with him getting them the month of July, how is the school or my rental agency supposed to know? Because you want me to provide a letter from them saying Susan has had them from January of 2022 to December of 2022. But how are they to know that I don't have them the month of July?
I don't think it's the month of July that matters. I think they just want to know because you have 3 separate years. Anything could have happened in those 3 years. The kids could have went with him. Things could have changed. They just want to see that they were in school with you for those particular years, the whole school year. You know what I mean? Or your lease. I mean, the lease, I really don't see how that works because you're going to sign a lease in the beginning. It's going to say for the year, but things could change there too. But those school records will show that the kids were enrolled in that school for that school year.
Yeah, and what they're asking, see, that's why it doesn't make any sense what they're asking me to do, because neither of those know that he gets them for a whole month in July. But she wants me to put January to December.
Well, they're not even in school for the summer, so.
Exactly. So how are they supposed to put that? But this is what she's telling me to put.
So she wants them to write a letter for each individual year. She doesn't want the school record. She wants a letter from the school.
Yeah, I already said in the school records. That's not acceptable.
So that's why I was saying basically for the IRS, because you're filing for each year, they're trying to basically have you do a breakdown for each year. So that's why
when she said about having like the documents, like if you get any food stamp benefits or like, and that's why I said about the doctor's notes and stuff like that. That's going to help you with
No,
resolving some of those questions.
they don't want to break down for each year because I'm not doing it all in one, because the 2020 taxes is a whole different ball game.
You just went
Right
to the
now,
fraud.
I'm just working on 2022 until I can get the proper paperwork, because that's different paperwork that I need from 2020 is completely different than what I need for 2022.
Are they the same issue?
No.
Okay.
Yes and no.
What's the issue with 2020?
He got on unemployment and claimed a 5 and a 7-year-old and turned around and filed taxes. So in me trying to amend those taxes, they want to basically all the money that he earned, they want to turn around and say, you're responsible because you're claiming the kids, you need to claim their income.
Even though it's fraudulent. So,
well, it's not for them to decide if it was fraudulent, because he provided proper 1099s from the unemployment office. It's up to the unemployment office to say, hey, this is fraudulent, and they are not complying with anything.
Right. Have you guys initiated the process with unemployment?
Have we what?
Have you filed a complaint or a fraud report with unemployment?
For the last 3.5 years, yes.
So they're just dragging their feet.
This the one that they just now finally got off the desk, Susan?
Huh?
This the unemployment case. That's the one that they just now finally put the fraud in, right?
Yeah, it took them 3 years to actually transfer the information to fraud. And now the EDD is acting like they don't know what to do.
So that you won't be able to clear that up at all until they finish their final findings.
Yeah, so they put me, but the IRS put me on a timeline of I have to have everything in by May 17th of this year.
Yeah, will they accept a letter from EDD stating that their investigation is still pending?
EDD won't send it because they don't know what to do.
Whoa.
So everything I've been talking about this session has been based off of my 2022 experience.
So that's why I highlighted a little earlier that with the COVID and all the fraud that was going on, even with the unemployment, it's they're totally backed up.
Yeah, that would be correct.
There has to be something that they can provide to her, even if it's something stating that they're backed up. You know, it has to be something they can provide for her to be able to provide to the IRS.
Yeah, they're twiddling their thumb. They want to know why the IRS is requesting it.
This is crazy.
That was different. That was different.
So crazy. And this is why people get discouraged and just give up and don't take care of their business, because you get tired of being on the phone, you get tired of talking to people all day, you get tired of being transferred to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And I feel like they know what they're doing, and I feel like they have, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but I feel like they have that extra phone number that they put out there for people to get that hold music, knowing damn well you're gonna hang up, they're gonna answer it.
You gotta think too, since COVID, a lot of people transition from working to, they call it a gig economy right now, because so many people started their own businesses, so many people pick up side hustles, things like that. So there's not a lot of people in the office. No one wants to work a traditional job anymore when they're making more money from home. Right. So that's a lot of strain on these businesses as well.
But then a lot of these businesses aren't even hiring. Because I tried to apply at the EDD to help their asses.
Right. Is that why they're still only doing like appointments to come into the office?
I think a lot of them are using COVID as an excuse because they don't want to deal with people's craziness in the office. So they're still saying they're going by those rules, but yeah, that's a bunch of BS. It's either the short staff or they won't. Don't. A lot of people are angry. Everyone's angry because of the delays. So they really don't want to deal with people coming in the office and having to deal with them face to face.
Right.
It's like asking to use the bathroom at McDonald's. They just used it as an excuse to shut it down.
Yeah.
If you've ever had to go to the bathroom at McDonald's.
All right, y'all. So we have Tia and Susan on the phone. And is there anyone, and we have a couple in the chat, is there any particular questions that we have for Shaquinta or Angela while we have tax professionals on the line? That they may be able to help us with, and if not, they may be able to direct you on how to get your damn help.
I did want to say about that comment I put in there about the tax offices. Places like Jackson Hewitt, H&R Block, they're bringing people on. You go do a few weeks course. You know what I mean? One or 2 days a week. You know, they help you pass the test a lot of the times, and they stick you in the office. So if you guys are going to places like that, make sure that your tax preparer is an experienced preparer, because a lot of them don't understand self-employment. They've never done it. They haven't even done a regular W-2 return. So, you know, and most of it's data entry for them. So it's easy for them to like make it seem like they know what they're doing. But when it comes to your credits, you will be lacking because a lot of, like I said, a lot of them are inexperienced and they don't have the manpower to have someone in the office to train them properly. So they're gonna play the role. They're pretty good actors. I know. I managed the offices for 13 years. I've seen it all. So just
and with that intel, if that's the case, you might as well do your taxes yourself and save $500.
Or find you somebody that you know is seasoned and stick with them.
Yeah.
Well, that I agree. But if you're gonna go to H&R Block to one of those type of employees, you might as well fuck yourself and do your own taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're gonna tax you. They're gonna tax you really, really good to screw you up.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yep. And I had to learn the hard way. That's
And what
sure.
is their thing? If you get audited, we'll be here to do it for free.
No, they offer the Go Guarantee, and that's an additional $39 for audit assistance, which is actually through a third party. Because when you go into the office, they're going to be like, "Well, you need to call the people for the Go Guarantee or whatever the guarantee is that is offered for that company."
So they're not even the one that do it for free. They refer you to the other person.
Yep.
So it's false advertising.
And then once you
And I
go
would
to
have never
the
been
audit
audited in
department,
trouble had
What'd you say, Angela?
and I was highlighting on what she said. Because once you go to the audit department, it's just like a collection department. You ain't gonna get no questions. You're gonna be going around in circles just like you are with the IRS right now. So it's better to get you someone who actually knows what they're doing.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, we want to, I guess, end it if no one has any additional questions with saying the main thing that I think I'm getting, and I think Sharquinta will agree with, is make sure you get that pen to lock your shit up.
Absolutely.
That's the
And
best way to protect.
they're making it easy now. You can get it online.
Okay,
Wait,
so
but that's
okay, so
my
we just
question. How do you get it online? Because they told me that you have to go inside.
They have
I got mine
For your kids.
online through my IRS account, but
right.
not for the kids.
Oh, for the kids, they're making you come inside.
Yeah, that's what they were telling me. They told me that. Oh, and I,
Oh,
I
because you
looked
know
at my
why
note
they
when I
need to
wrote my note down. They said to bring in your ID
you need to
or
prove
driver's
document.
license, the birth certificate, the social security, and the medical records or the school records for the kids.
Makes absolute sense. They need to see that you're the mother of the kids before you put that IPIN number on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but for single adults or that are trying to do it, you can do it right through the portal. You can access all tax records. You can even have some of your letters come into that box, but you don't have to wait for them to come in the mail. Um,
Yeah, I got mine last year.
you can pull up
for
your tax
anybody
record.
that's watching, please take note because Susan got mixed up in that also, where she got her pen already a couple years ago, where they did not have a clear understanding that there's a pen for each person. can get one for yourself, but you need one for your kids, which is the main people that you're trying to protect from the absent parent or absent person, anybody, but mainly the absent parent um, that's trying to steal the kids for taxes. You need an individual PIN for each person.
I want to say something on that too. A couple years ago, they started to intertwine like the government systems. I don't know if any of you guys have called in and they've asked you any additional questions, but I've had people and clients call in and they knew things about them that the IRS normally don't know. But they're supposed to have access to like welfare, social security, things like that, and that's how they're combating people using other people's children. Because how can you be claiming this child, but here in the system it says so and so had them on aid all year. So that's something that they've been working on. So
Oh, like for when, just to make, I'm
Aren't they
sorry,
red flagging the
like
kids
somebody,
from being
wait, hold on,
passed
Susan.
around?
So you
yeah,
saying like when a person is claiming a kid, but another parent had them on like food stamps or county aid,
Welfare.
something like that?
yep. I had one of my clients and she came, they wanted me to do it. And I'm like, look, you can't do this. You're the wife. You're talking about this is the nephew, this, that, and the other. They went and did it. They called me back and said, hey, they told me, how can I do it if he had him on aid all year? But they went through the taxpayer advocacy program and they just basically amended return and took the child off. She got lucky because she could have been flagged. They could have penalized her to where she was disallowed credits, and they can do it for a little bit of years or they can do it for a lifetime. It all depends. But once that's that they're trying to combat people selling their kids and me letting my sister use the kids so I can get my money back. They're like, hold on, everybody's claiming they're not working, but you got county aid all year, but now you're filing self-employment. You know what I mean? They're
Right.
trying to combat. Okay, you got this for the kids, you're receiving Social Security, you're the pay for the kids, but so and so is claiming and said they live there. This isn't matching up. So
Right.
that's
I know,
another
like
thing
in
they're working on.
Vegas, I know, like in Vegas, Vegas is hacked into everybody's fucking system. Like I think they like the what's the fuck? I mean, excuse me. I think Vegas is like the FBI or something like that because they know everything you're doing. When they put your social security number in, they know when you order a damn pizza, they be all in your business. Like
So they have the
they
same
know
system
everything
where
that you're paying it.
they also have
Now,
the same
don't they
system where
red?
they're putting the welfare, the child support, the social security. All the systems are all going to be
Intertwined.
all together as well in Vegas. So that's why, yeah, everything is intertwined in Vegas as well. So, but like I said, for the backup, it's always good to have that physically. So just in case if they have any questions, you have it and you were able to send it. Just like Susan said, she sent it right away, and he actually got in trouble because he couldn't provide the paperwork.
No, he didn't get in
Well,
trouble.
no, yeah, I
Uh,
said no, he didn't.
yeah, he didn't get in trouble.
I thought you said, I thought you said you he did the amendment, and since he didn't do the paperwork, you're gonna get the money.
No, he hasn't done the. He hasn't turned in anything, and I have
Uh huh.
rightful proof that I have the children.
Right. So
So
since you
eventually,
have,
But he
but
didn't get.
since you have the paperwork like already on hand, and you don't have to request all that stuff, because even though it's together, they're still gonna make you request it and make sure you get it.
Yeah, I'll more than likely get the money because I have the correct paperwork to show that I have my children. But it's every year, every case is something different. So he did this year, he did not get paid out. The last year he did not get paid out on it. He messed up somewhere else in his taxes, along with they asked for proof that he did not provide to them.
So what I'm saying is, even though everything is intertwined, still make sure you have the paperwork so you can have physically, because that goes into them, the IRS having to dig for it, and that's gonna take it longer for you to get it.
Yeah, that is
yeah.
correct.
Another thing I wanted to, I think it was you, Susan, you were talking about a form that can be given to allow the non-custodial parent to claim the child.
Yeah.
That's the form 8332. And what it does is allows the non-custodial parent to claim basically the child as a dependent, but they'll only get the child tax credit portion.
The what portion?
the child tax credit.
Oh, okay. So
Keisha
then
on
why
Twitch
wouldn't they get
said,
her
"Isn't
some
the PIN
credit?
number the safe way?" Yeah, Keisha, that's what we pretty much been saying. And I've been trying to make sure everybody knew the PIN number is the safe way. But what a lot of people, including our ladies that's on the line, is not aware of, that you can get your PIN online, but currently you cannot for your kids. You have to go into the office with documentation showing that the kids are yours. So pretty much school records, doctor records, stuff like that. And then you can get a pen for your children. But without going in, there's no protection right now for nobody but yourself. That is correct, Angela and Sharquenta, correct? So Keisha's saying you can call too, but I do know that Tia and Susan on here, we was talking about that earlier, and currently both of you were saying that they're not allowing you to call in, only for yourselves,
No.
right?
Yeah.
You can do it for yourself online or call for yourself on the phone, but you have to go in for the kids. There's no way to do it on the phone or online. They're gonna make you make an appointment to come in.
I don't know if it differs
And
from state to state. I know we're dealing
No.
with someone in California and someone in Vegas. Angela and Sharquenta, which are our professional tax preparers on the line, do rules like that differ from state to state?
Nope, they're federal regulations.
So they're all the same everywhere.
Yeah, that's federal. So
yeah,
everywhere
and I
you go.
set up my PIN online. I went online onto my IRS account and set up
For
my PIN
yourself or your kids?
for myself.
Yeah, we're speaking of, it's clear that it's for yourself, that you can do it online or over the
Yeah.
phone. You're trying to determine the children, because a lot of people are not aware that they're not allowing you to do it online, not
It
allowing
makes
you to do it without walking into the office with proof.
it makes sense
And
for
it
the
looks like
for
Keisha
them.
said she's
Hold
been
on.
on the phone with them all
What?
day and they mail it off in California.
For the kids.
She said, yes, I can get it on the phone for the kids.
Oh, I have not had that experience.
Yeah,
So,
I would see them wanting you to provide proof for the children, like the birth certificate, social, showing that you are the parent. So it would make sense
Mm-hmm.
why they would be requesting for you to come in because they want to see those documentation.
Exactly.
They might allow you to mail it or fax it in. That might be an option and why they mail it out. But what is the time frame on that?
Hmm.
so Keisha, is this
Yeah,
something
I'm
that
not.
they ask you to mail in and you have to wait a period of time? So they ask all type of questions, but they do it.
And I think a lot of it depends on what rep you get on the phone, because some people don't give a fuck. Some people, um, some of the reps don't care. Some of the reps are new. Some of the reps are telling what you want to hear get you off the phone. Some of them is work, they're working from home. They go get my roast out of the oven. So da 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 da. All right, bye. They're, you know, they're also trying to keep working prior experience at call centers. They want you to do so many calls per hour, so many calls per day. So they're
Right.
probably under pressure to hurry up and answer the bare minimal. Let me not overdo it and give you more information than I need you to give, because I need to get you off the phone to answer my next call to hit my quota. So I think just like any customer service, it really just depends on how much that rep wants to help on the phone and how much they're really even educated.
Mm.
It's a luck of the draw.
All right. Well,
So basically, get an IP pen and F everybody baby daddy. Got it. Noted.
let me see, Keisha. These kinds of questions. They ask all kinds of questions, but they, hold on. I lost Angela. Hold on. She's coming back in. Angela, we lost you again. Let's see. Like Keisha, they ask all kind of questions, but they
No,
do
I
get
see Angela.
at me.
I
No,
think
I did
I
the
can't
same
read.
thing last year. They ask questions about you, then ask questions about kids. So hold on. Oh, okay. I was looking in the other comments, but I think that's for y'all realize to put it in the thingy here. Let's see. I'm not sure. Do y'all know how to add people without them being on the invite? Is there an add button, Keisha? If you get it correctly, they mail them to you. If you get it correctly, they mail them to you. So I guess this is probably something that I would love to invite our two tax professionals back for another session if we can get some additional information. Um,
Can you
for
hear
another
me?
session. We're still in tax season. You know, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people out there that either still have not filed yet, um, still trying to actually get information themselves, you know, so we can set up another date for part two, you know, to get these additional questions answered so we can get, you know, I appreciate the help. I appreciate our people in the comment that's been helping, the people that's come up to help, you know.
I do have one question.
What's that?
You know, say like, what is it? April is the deadline for you to get your taxes in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'll be it's April, but that's Angela and Sharquenta.
Can you guys hear
No,
me?
they give you until April to get your taxes in. So they have a deadline for when, you know, tax season is over. You need to have all your taxes in. So what
It used to be
happens
like
if
April
somebody
13th or something, right?
It's usually the
April
15th.
15th.
so what happens to the people that file their taxes after that?
Go
So
ahead,
they've
Angela.
been, oh, okay. I was just gonna say they've been extended it. I know last year they extended it. So I think they extended it to like September last year. So um, it shouldn't be it's not going to be a consequence like if you don't do it like right away, but like if you let it go like build up, then that's when the consequences happen. What were you guys saying?
Basically, how it works, if the deadline, right before the deadline, you file an extension. Last year it was to October, like October 15th or somewhere around there. But normally after the deadline, if you haven't filed, then you could possibly get taxes and interest accrued on the account. So that's what the penalty is.
Okay. I mean, what are you paying interest on if you haven't filed?
Your taxable income.
Okay.
Just because you haven't filed, see, the employers file a W-3. So basically, whatever you make, they file the W-3 with the IRS, so they have that. Like, even if you look in your IRS tool, your online tool, you can see where all of your income that was sent into the IRS, whether 1099, whether interest statements, dividends, whatever it is, they have a section where you can pull that records up in the tax record. I think it's like the bottom right box. And you'll be able to see what has been reported to the IRS for you.
Okay. Now, what if somebody has like 4 W-2 forms and forgets to do one of them?
Or just don't do it.
Sometimes it slips through the crack. It just depends on the amount of the W-2. I've had clients do it a lot and they've never had a problem. But then you have some where it has been a problem and you need to do an amended return. It might
I
not
was just
bite
about to
you in
say,
the beginning.
right. I was just about to say, if you want to, you could do an amendment. But some people, like if it's only like maybe $100 or $200, some people just don't do it. And like you said, it'll slip through the cracks because it's low. But when it starts becoming like more money, that's when it's like a red flag.
So how much is enough money to let it slip through the cracks?
That goes back to that audit question that y'all asked earlier, and like we said, there's no way to determine when you're gonna get audited and when you're not. But let's say you get audited and you don't have that on there, that's when you're gonna be in trouble.
She said, my friend told me to ask.
Yes, I'm
And,
just getting ready to say that. I'm asking for a friend.
and keep in mind, they tell you to hold your records for 7 years, but there's really no time limit on how far they can go back, or they might decide to go back. So keep that in mind too. You know,
So they can
I
get you for tax fraud 20 years ago?
Technically, 7 years they go back, but like she said, keep them just in case. But also know that it's on your when you go to the IRS.gov website, all that information is in there, so you could go back as far as you need to pull your W-2s and stuff like that.
No, I mean, can the IRS, you said that they usually go back 7 years,
no, they
but
tell
there is no time limit. So could they decide to be dicks and say, we're going to audit you from 20 years ago?
yeah. They tell you to keep the
Oh,
records for they tell you to keep the records for up to 7 years, but yeah, they can.
oh, that's a
There's no
setup.
cap on that.
Okay.
So
That
basically, they're
sounds
going
like
to
a
do what
setup.
they want to do when
I
they
like
want
that
to do
here.
it.
And also keep in mind, for people that have kids and or credits on their returns, the credits, you usually have about 3 years to file those returns, or you lose those credits. That was
Oh,
3 years, right, Angela?
Sorry, say that one more time.
For the like the EIC, for any type of what's the word,
Earned income credit, the earned
income
income
credit.
credit.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
not just earned income credit, any type of credit that'll be returned, that'll be payable. They have about 3 years to file that return, or they lose that credit.
So I have a client who actually went back to 2000, actually 2021, I believe it was, and they made her she can't do it through the system. She had to mail her income taxes in. So that's when they're gonna have to review it and different things like that. So that it's up to them if they're gonna give her the credit or not. So after it's correct, after 3 years, you're not gonna be able to get it through the system like direct bill it, but they can mail it through.
All right, but I was taught that the credits after that 3 year mark, you don't qualify. They won't give you those credits. You'll file the return, but the credits that you were supposed to get, you won't get those.
Oh, really?
is it is
But
it
that's
because
when
it
you have to put
varies
the
from year to
amendment.
year?
I didn't hear you guys. Oh my god, I
Oh,
feel like I lost.
is it because it varies from year to year?
What, the credits?
Yeah.
But they can still calculate that with the tax software, all the way back, like the prior years. The software calculates everything. So
Okay.
that would be the problem. I believe it's the IRS rule.
Okay, so while we're on years and time spans and stuff like that, with the statute of limitations, a lot of people is not aware that there's a statute of limitations. Because the IRS is not going to tell you that. But the people that do know, is it true that that statute of limitations don't count to people that have not actually filed yet?
So I have people who
I think that's feedback. Oh, you're on pause. On mute, Angela.
So for me, I have like some people who went back like all the way to like 2020 to do their taxes, and like she said, if they have like they do have statute of limitations, but you could do like the amendment forms, or if the like you could talk to the IRS, and they're doing extensions due to the COVID and stuff. So there's for me, I just want to say like there's no determined actually statute of limitation as of right now because of the adjustments that they have been doing for the COVID. But I'm not for sure how her clients are, like how her accounts, her taxpayers, how far they've been going back, and if she's able to do it. So for me, it's just a case by case situation.
So
I actually meant, I'm sorry, thank you for that part. I meant like a statute of limitations where you have not filed and they come after you.
Where you have not filed
Like where you owe taxes, I'm sorry, where you owe taxes and they come after you. Um,
for the unpaid fees,
yeah,
the
unpaid
non-collected.
fees. Yeah.
I believe it's a 20-year mark.
Oh, it's
Um,
20.
I believe here is 20.
Okay.
So you owe them money and you don't file taxes for 20 years, you're clear?
So from, from my
I mean,
understanding, there's a statute of limitations. I thought it was 10, but if it's 20, it's a certain amount of years to where if you
Uh-huh.
owe, when that statute of limitation hit,
they can't collect the money.
they can go after you. However, the misunderstanding that a lot of people have had is that it's not, you have some people just don't file. That limitation don't take place until you file.
Until you file the return.
Right.
Honestly, I mean, I know what you're saying, but that's a better question for a tax lawyer.
Got it. Boom. Oh, another bracket. Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was a good answer. That was a good answer because, like I said, mine's is case by case, and I only been going back since like I think the last one I did was 2020. So I don't want to give you the wrong answer, but
Okay.
yeah, that with the limitations and different things like that, that does go with the tax lawyers because, like she said, if you get audited, they could go back as far as they want to. So, and the statute of limitation, that goes into that bracket of like now you need to get into the lawyer field.
Now we got to trump up.
Well, I know with the prior year taxes, like I filed 4 or 5 years back before. It all depends on the software that you have. Like if you're using a free software online, they're not going to let you file a prior year most of the
I
time.
can't.
Now some of them are allowing it with the IPIN number, but for the most part, you have to mail it in after December. But if you go to a tax office, they can go back years. If you have 5, 6 years worth of W-2s, they can do those prior year returns. The only thing is they're gonna want their money up front because they can't deduct it out the return, or they might let you bundle it and take the fees out of the current year's return.
This year's exactly this year's return. That's what a lot of people would do. Take it out of this year's return. So if they charge $200 and you have to do back taxes, they're going to charge you for each year that they're going back, and they're taking it out of this year's return.
If you have a
Well,
big enough
doesn't like say H&R Block and like those the just the corner store tax places, don't they file the taxes? The IRS gives them the money and then they give you the money.
It all depends on how you set it up. If you use a bank product, yes.
Okay.
That means that it's going to go how it goes. It goes to the bank first, then the bank will send it out. The bank will send Jackson Hewitt their cut, and then they'll send you guys your cut.
Okay.
If you don't use a bank product, then it'll go direct deposit from the IRS to you or in a check form, however you request it.
So
Oh,
here
so
is
is
something
that
that a lot of
why when you don't get taxes back and you owe type thing, a lot of those type of locations don't even want to deal with your shit. Don't even want to deal
Yeah,
with your
because
taxes.
they ain't gonna get their money.
Right.
And, and that's what I was talking about earlier, as far as like if they're not going to get paid, and not too many people want to actually touch it because they don't even know if they're going to get paid out of doing it. So they want their some once they're doing like the back taxes, most people charge up front.
I was getting ready to say that's messed up because some people won't even give you the upfront fee. It's like just give me an option to find out if I'm going to pay.
Here's the thing too. You got to think when you're going into one of those places and you're getting a bank product, the bank can see if your tax return has been offset. So it's like a lot of people when they go in to get those advances, a lot of times they get denied for the advances because they have a record of previous offsets. You know what I mean? So they don't want to finance or give you that money up front because they know that it's a chance that it could be taken. They don't know if it's paid off in full. It could have been 2 years ago, but it still shows on the record. So it would take a little bit more time before you can qualify again.
Mm,
And here's
got it.
something that a lot of people don't know. This was a friend's personal experience, but say you go to a tax place and say their bank is Capital One. 10 years ago, you had a credit card with Capital One and you let it go to collections, Capital One snatching their money.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
have. My friend did.
Because I know most of them use like Meta, Santa Barbara Bank and Trust, Republic. Those are most of the tax banks. But I've never. They're usually, for companies like the tax office. I mean, they do other things, but for the most part, because like they set you up a separate account. You know that, right? When you file, you have a separate account, a temporary account set up with them. So once it's only for the tax season. Once they issue your money, that account closes.
Mm.
And
So
then,
just to make sure I understand this question, you're saying she filed her taxes and her bank took the money?
Okay. So say you go to H&R H&R Block. H&R Block is backed by Capital One. If you file your taxes and say you had a credit card with Capital One and you let that credit card go into collections, when H&R Block does your taxes, because they bank with Capital One is taking their issuance out of your taxes to pay that collection.
how is that possible though?
Because
Yeah, I never heard of it either.
That's not like a
welcome to
state.
California.
That's not a state debt. Is that like the state collection? Because that's not a federal debt. You know what I mean? Because like they have an offset number you can call to see if you have an offset before you even
They
file your
can,
return.
because it's a collection and it's within that bank, they can take their money to pay your debt.
So I feel like maybe if she like, because you could do a direct bill, like direct deposit, and you put it through your bank. So if you're doing a direct deposit and you owe the bank, then maybe that's how they're taking the money. But it's not the state bank, like she said, Meta or Santa Barbara. They're not letting Capital One take the money.
If anything, he
No,
probably
it's if
owed maybe prior year fees or something, and they're taking it from that. But I don't see how a credit card. I've never experienced anyone's credit card fees being taken from the return.
Perfect example, like what
you
they were
owe
saying
them.
about the stimulus. They were not able to take debts owed from your stimulus because of certain laws.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
the thing
But
about
they were, and they got in trouble for it.
yeah, they ended up fixing and reimbursing the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was before they had clarification on exactly what could and could not be done with the stimulus.
Mm-hmm.
Like they even allow people in prison, to get the stimulus. At first, it was argument and debate about that, but then they allowed them to be qualified to get it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, because why shouldn't somebody in prison be able to get their stimulus if they earned it? I mean, is that going into politics? Because if somebody's in prison, if but I earned it prior to, or whatever the situation is, it's mine.
Correct. Then you have the people that are in prison and still filing taxes for self-employment while they're in prison.
Now that's something different, though. I'm talking about stimulus came from what? From
If they were out and
if they were
even
out
if
at the
everything was
time to
valid
qualify
before, then
for it,
yeah,
just
they
because you
should
went
get
to
it.
jail, now you don't get it because you went to jail. That's like, to me,
Yeah, no, I'm talking about people
an
that was
excuse
in
on not
prison
giving
for
people their
like
money.
years before. Yeah.
Even in my opinion, I mean, because you got entrepreneurs still in prison. You know what I mean? That have
Right.
businesses on the street that are flourishing. So I don't see why they shouldn't be able to file. Now,
Exactly.
in regards to self-employment, if you're self-employed and you do not have any children to receive any type of additional credits, you will not get a return. Because with self-employment, you're okay. With business employment, you're supposed to file your taxes quarterly, depending on how your business is set up, right? So every 3 months, you're supposed to send in your taxes on your gross revenue brought in for that 3 months. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of people who are sole proprietors, they don't have it set up that way. So what they do is they pay their taxes at the end of the year. A lot of self-employed people that have children, their taxes are deducted from their earned income credits. But if you're a single individual and you file self-employment, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, you're going to owe the IRS unless you zero out on expenses.
Yeah. And you have to be smart about your write-offs.
Yeah, but there's still no way to get a refund. Only time you're going to get a refund is if there's some type of
So that
credit.
goes into where I was highlighting where people were doing self-employment, and if they're saying that they're doing self-employment, but they're saying they used out a certain amount of money, like they used 15,000, but they are in debt for 13,000 because they bought like different things. That's where that goes where that's the faulty taxpayer for allowing them to get a certain amount back because they're only worried about the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they have that proof, because it's possible that a business can take a loss in their first or second year, but for you to be a business that's been open and you losing like that, like she said, it's a faulty taxpayer. It's going to get you flagged and it's going to get you in trouble.
Yes.
Yep, that'll be me.
With
All
the
right, ladies. Well, so again, I appreciate everyone that was on, that was able to get on. Um, I would like to extend the invitation if you guys are familiar with. I hate those fucking brain farts.
I get them all the time.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say it earlier that we started talking about something else. Um, mm, it was another portion of the taxes I was gonna ask about. Maybe it'll come back within the next 30 seconds, whatever. I didn't want to mix in, intertwine that with what we were talking about here. Um, but I would like to get into. Oh my gosh, I hate that that happened because it was really important for probably some of us. Anyway, I would like to extend the invitation to especially our tax professionals, on a later subject that has to do with clarifying some stuff with taxes. If y'all are available on another schedule, set date. Um, and I'm so mad right now because it's beating me up that I had it in my head for the longest to ask if y'all familiar with it. Um, but anyway, I'd like to keep y'all on deck with us if we have any more questions. It is that season of taxes, and people have a lot of additional questions if they come about later. Hopefully, I'll be able to reach out to y'all at a later time and set up something. But I really do appreciate both of you um, helping
Yeah,
out.
I'm for it. Not a problem. Just let me know.
Y'all see, it's beating me up right now because I really want to ask. I didn't want to get into that subject. I just want to know if you're here with it, and I'm mad right now. Mad to the bone. But yeah, we've hit our second hour, y'all. I like to thank y'all again, Tia and Susan. I like to thank y'all for putting your situations out there for people. And again, I want to talk about this because a lot of people are experiencing what you two have been experiencing. Waking up one day, wanting to go and file your taxes and get your return, and next thing you know, boom, nothing. Because the absent parent, the absentee parent is beat you to the punch and knowing damn well they don't deserve it. I'm sorry that that happened to you, ladies. Um, and again, I wasn't trying to leave out any men that this happened to because there are men, a lot of men out there that have custody of their children and have to deal with the same thing. So I'm not trying to exclude you. However, this is the situation where this is called the girlfriend zone, and sometimes our lady need us ladies to talk to about things like this and get it off your chest. So I hope everyone has enjoyed your time here with me. And good night. Any questions before we leave out from anyone? Any statements? No? All right, this live will be available for anyone that came in at the end and did not catch it from the beginning. Thank you for also watching Girlfriend Zone. And I like to say good night. Please go check out some of our other videos. Please subscribe, hit that notification button because I got some more videos to come. Yeah, I had to plug it, baby. But good night, y'all.
Nice meeting you,
Good night.
ladies. Have a good night.
Good night. Good night.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
night. Nice to meet you guys.